Cris, before we begin with your presentation, can you give us a little bit of background about what is the function of the Ombuds office?
And, absolutely.
Oh, look at that. It's a perfect segue.
I'm glad you asked. All right. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for coming. I know we've got a really small group, which is fine because that just makes it a more intimate and more opportunity for everybody to get a chance to speak and to engage and just have a great time, especially since now it's the evening. We've probably all had a long day, so I'm hoping you guys have a little bit of energy left to get started. Well, I'm the organizational ombudsman for National University. Basically, they call me the Inaugural Ombudsman, which just means I'm the first and only one they've ever had. And so I've been there almost 3 years now, to be 3 years in February. And so I completely set the office up, wrote my own charter, my own policies and procedures. And upon arriving at National University, I joined the International Ombudsman Association. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. And if you notice on the screen, there are 3 types of ombudsman. There's an advocate ombudsman, a classical ombudsman, and an organizational ombudsman. So for me, I have been 2 of them. The advocate ombudsman is basically in most of your health care fields. I was an advocate ombudsman for the state of Texas. And so I advocated for residents in long-term care and assisted living facilities. So I went in just to talk with, meet with, and sometimes mediate with families and residents, and also to make sure that the facilities themselves were following all of the state guidelines. So that's your advocate ombudsman. The classical type of ombudsman you'll see mostly in government agencies like the military, and all of the governmental departments have ombudsman. And so the difference between them all, the advocate ombudsman really advocates for the residents, advocates for safety, fairness, everything. The classical ombudsman, however, does do some investigation. They do some reporting on their findings and so forth. So they're a little bit cross between your advocate and your organizational ombudsman. So the organizational ombudsman, according to the International Ombudsman Association, we follow these 4 principles. The first one is independent. So that just means that although I work for National University, my office is independent from all of the other offices, the colleges, and so forth at National University. I report to Dr. Andrews for budgetary reasons, Dr. Andrews and Dr. Singh for my budget. The other thing is I'm impartial and neutral. That just means I don't take the side of the university, nor do I take the side of the visitors that come to see me, anybody that calls or comes by and talks to me. The third and most important is, you see I have in all caps, that is everything is confidential. Although we're recording tonight, I'm hoping that you guys will kind of keep everybody's information to yourself and not share it. So confidentiality is probably the cornerstone of what I do. And actually, since the COVID season has started, this has really boomed my business because a lot of people feel safe. They feel comfortable in their own homes or wherever they are working from. And they have just started calling me and emailing me and phoning me to talk. And right now, since we're not in an office, I use my private cell phone, so they have access to that. So that is a definitely private and confidential number that you can call. And all of that information will be at the end of the presentation. The last thing is it's informal, just like we are tonight. Just relax and enjoy the conversation. I don't do any investigations. I don't make any claims or reports. The only thing I report are systemic issues. So say, for instance, if I get several visitors coming in and talking about the same issue, then it's systemic. I have to let Dr. Andrews and Dr. Singh know, look, you got a problem, you know, almost like that little cliche, Houston, we got a problem. So I make sure that they know what's going on. It's not who told me what was going on, but that there is a systemic issue. And I also work with them on what are some ways that you can resolve this. The other thing I do for National is I work real close with Title IX because a part of their process, they do formal investigations, but as a part of their process, they have informal resolution. So when people decide that they really aren't ready to just go into a full-blown investigation, they'll ask Heather Tyrell to maybe get with me so that they can have an opportunity to just kind of say what was on their heart and their mind prior to starting an investigation. If it's resolved, they don't have to go through that investigative process. So that's part of what I do. I do trainings. And so this is one of the, I think maybe third or fourth training that I've been doing for National. The first one was I did a full-blown mediation training for the Title IX group, all of the investigators. And so I really appreciate Patricia inviting me to do this. And what qualifies me to do all of this is that I have been in the dispute resolution, conflict resolution field for quite some time, for a little bit over 30-something years. So I've taught mediation, conflict resolution, negotiation, arbitration, all of those dispute resolution processes, even an ombudsman course. That's what I taught for Pepperdine.